In this episode of Falmouth in Focus, we'll get an update on the Commodore season for 2021, make a stop at the Falmouth Dog Park as they prepare for their 10th anniversary, and check in with the Falmouth schools for their annual No Guff Week. All this and much more on this episode of Falmouth in Focus.
Hello and welcome to Falmouth in Focus, FCTV's current affairs program. I'm your host, Michael Kasparian. As more and more Cape residents have been receiving their COVID-19 vaccine in recent weeks, it's important that we still continue to adhere to social distancing and mask guidelines to help curb the spread of the COVID variants that have now been infecting our fellow residents. Falmouth's health agent, Scott McGann, encourages residents to refer to the Falmouth website at falmouthma.gov for links to the latest vaccine information, and you can view his Friday video briefings on FCTV Government Channel 15, our Facebook page, and fctv.org. COVID-19 shuttered the 2020 Falmouth Commodores baseball season, but there are plans to have the team return to the diamond at Gulf Fuller Field this summer. FCTV member Chris Smallus checked in with Commodores President Chuck Sturdivant to learn more.
Well, of course, not having a season at all hurt for everyone, really, because all the volunteers had already been prepared and everything, the schedules had been done, and then all of a sudden we just had to shut down. And for all the ball players that were committed and so on, we had hoped that they could get a place to play somewhere else last summer just to stay in shape. And I hear most of them did get to play down in Florida and Texas.
Based upon what you know, then, you feel confident that there will be a 2021 season?
Yes, yes, absolutely. It may be we may start a little later than was originally planned. I think we were starting originally June 12th. It may be about a week and a half, 2 weeks later. Final decision will be made on the 21st of April in a special board meeting. What we may do is start around the 24th of June, and then instead of shorten the playoffs, so we go more regular season games and maybe a shorter playoff series for this year only.
Okay, typically the season ends about the second week in August. Is that
Correct.
Still the plan?
And that's the plan. We just passed a preliminary COVID budget of $380,000 last night, and that's to cover testing, equipment, masks, and so on, and this COVID captains for each team, as well as a COVID coordinator for the league. I just heard today that our attendance may be moved up to 50% of capacity. Now, everyone's questioning, well, what's capacity? I mean, the average probably Falmouth game, especially playoffs and so on, is about 3,000 people. So half of that is 1,500. If we can get 1,500, I'd be thrilled, and I think all the teams would. But they'll be 6 feet apart in the dugouts. We'll have to have the players that aren't playing that night or on reserve sitting in the first row of the bleachers, or for this year at least, down in the football bleachers, the bullpen will be down there to kind of keep them separated. But players will have to wear a mask. If they're out in the outfield and not next to a player, they can put it down. But as soon as they move, they have to put it back up. We have right now in place for testing once a week of all players, coaches, interns that interact with players, like your broadcasters and so on. They will all be tested once a week. We just want to play baseball. We really do. We really do. We feel the economy, the Cape, people residing here need something to go to and cheer. and we're pretty much a cheap event for them. And I think it gives them a great opportunity to come down and enjoy the game of baseball.
Go to FalmouthCommodores.com to get information about supporting the Commodores or becoming a host family. Thanks to Chris Smallis and Andrew Richards for that story. It's time now for 3 things from Town Hall, FCTV's condensed version of the takeaways from recent municipal meetings. Selections are chosen based on community impact.
Town meeting met this past Monday night for its spring meeting. This meeting was held virtually once again, and with a shortened warrant to allow further discussion on articles that may require closer attention in person later on. Town meeting passed the operating budget with a few questions from town meeting members about East and North Falmouth library hours of operation and the Human Services Department working more closely with Falmouth Police.
Well, I just want to say that our East Falmouth Library is vital to our village, and our residents want extended hours. Right now, it's only open, I think, 2 days, a half a day, and one night until 7 o'clock. So if at all possible, it would be good if we could increase funding for those other branches so that those villages are able to use the library.
I appreciate those comments, and in this year we're working on our strategic plan, and the need for additional hours at the East Falmouth Library has been identified in the survey that we've done of the community.
Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that.
Article 9 called for budget appropriations, which included funding $900,000 worth of overtime for the Falmouth Fire Rescue Department. The article passed 172 to 23, but not without some scrutinizing from town meeting members who wanted to see the overtime payments broken down by station.
That question was asked of the precinct captain and being directed to look into that information regarding per station overtime wasn't available for this meeting. I can say that just to give you an idea of what the cost has been or the hours that have been, we were able to cover the station, West Falmouth Station, in July, August, September, October more robustly. And since in the ensuing months, it's been decreased somewhat, but we continue to offer the overtime to our personnel, and they staff the stations and accept the overtime when available.
Article 11 asked for town meeting to fund the $800,000 for a project manager and architect to design the newly planned fire station on Sandwich Road. The article passed 138 to 54, though town meeting members still question whether or not the West Falmouth Station will remain open in the future to help cover the whole town with fire rescue services. Town meeting was dissolved until June 28th, where it will reconvene at Falmouth High School.
Article 11, this is to transfer the amount of $800,000 from certified free cash for project management, design, and construction of a new fire station located on Sandwich Road. Mr. Chairman, for the main motion.
Mr. Moderator, I move Article 11 as recommended.
To see the meetings in their entirety, check out Government Channel 15's program schedule at fctv.org. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll pay a visit to the Falmouth Dog Park. Stay with us.
If you've lived in Falmouth for any length of time, you are probably familiar with the Falmouth Road Race, a premier event that attracts thousands of runners on the third Sunday in August. But did you know that the Falmouth Walk, a 3-mile loop from Town Hall Square to St. Barnabas Church, has happened on the Saturday before the road race for the past 30 years? Co-founded by Tommy Leonard, the Falmouth Road Race founder, and his good friend Eddie Doyle, the Falmouth Walk was established in 1991 as a way to promote healthy fun and to raise money for the Babe Ruth World Series. While the route and charities have changed since that first Falmouth Walk, the mission has remained the same. The Falmouth Walk is a 501c3 nonprofit charity staffed entirely by volunteers. Our goal is to have a positive impact on our community by organizing an event that brings friends and family together to participate in a 3-mile walk to raise money for local Falmouth charities, followed by a picnic on the beautiful lawn of St. Barnabas Church. We raise funds through registrations, very generous financial donations and sponsorships, and by raffling off hundreds of prizes that are generously donated by our local businesses. We also hold a silent and live auction to complete our fundraising efforts. Most importantly, we are supported by you, our community of walkers who show up each year, rain or shine, to make the walk an annual event here in Falmouth. 2020 has been a difficult year for all of us. The Falmouth Walk was no exception. We held our first virtual walk this year. Amazingly, 520 people signed up and walked a course in their hometown. We were able to distribute over $28,000 to our Falmouth charities thanks to their support. We are looking forward to holding our 30th walk in 2021. We need your continued support. If you have walked before, please come back in 2021 and bring a friend. If you have never joined us, please consider lacing up your sneakers for a good cause. Thank you.
Welcome back. Located on Brick Kiln Road, the Falmouth Dog Park was created to provide a welcoming, safe, and environmentally sensitive dog park for use by residents, visitors, and their pets. As they approach their 10th anniversary, we stopped by to speak to President Barb Schneider about all the park has to offer to our furry friends.
We are here at 257 Brick Kiln Road at the Falmouth Dog Park, and as you can see, at 3:30 in the afternoon, it is the place to be. This park has been here as of May 1st, 10 full years, hard to believe. We were very, very fortunate that the town of Falmouth and its leadership understood that this was where things were heading for safe ways for dogs to get together. And they approved this way back before there were all these dog parks all over the Cape. We were the second dog park on Cape Cod. Provincetown was the first. We have about 25,000 plus dogs that visit here every year. We have many, many people that come here that don't live in the town of Falmouth, as well as those who do. I have people that I've talked to that drive here 3 times a week from New Bedford because they love to bring their dog to this park. We're going to be celebrating our 10th anniversary, our 10th birthday on May the 8th. And on that day, we're going to give out our new magnets for cars as to anyone who shows up that day. We will be selling our new merchandise that has our 10th anniversary logo on it. And on that following Monday, we're going to be giving a presentation at the select board meeting, sort of reviewing the improvements that we've made over the last 10 years to this park and all the people that have supported this park to make it a good place to come. We have 150 businesses, we have 150 businesses that have helped us both build and maintain this park. And that says a lot. Now, in addition to all the individual donations, we do not get any money from the town of Falmouth. We have a group of stewards who volunteer every single month, 1 to 2 days a month, to come here and change the bags, make sure that there's mutt mitts, make sure the sidewalks are swept, and make sure that it is safe, that all the poop that's been left behind is picked up. We're very proud of that, but we're proud of it because the people that volunteer are such a diverse group and they are phenomenal in helping us.
I probably can't tell you all it means to me with the dog park. The dog has one heck of a time here. And it means a lot. I volunteer because somebody has to do something. It's free. You have to do something.
It's not only a great place for the dogs because the dogs get so much out of it, but both the people I support along with ourselves, we've made a community out of the people that come here with their dogs. Milo loves it. It's kind of like a ritual for him now.
So we were approached by a young man trying to earn his Eagle Scout designation. He got his Troop 42 together. They came in here and they cleared a cute little trail in the shape of a lollipop. So we call it the Lollipop Trail. And it's just a cute little, 5 or 6 minute walk that a lot of dogs do when they get here just to calm down before they come into play. I have people that come here with no dogs. They come here because the people are so friendly and because they miss having a dog, but they might live somewhere where they can't, or they've had to give one up when they moved into senior housing, and they just want to be around dogs. And as you can see, the camaraderie that happens here is very special, and that is one of the things that I think is a real plus.
For more information about the Falmouth Dog Park, go to falmouthdogpark.com. Thanks to Andrew Richards for that story. The Falmouth Road Race was established in 1973 and has become one of the premier running events of the summer season. After the coronavirus outbreak altered plans in 2020 and transitioned to a virtual event, this summer hopes to see a return to a limited in-person race.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Edwards, the Executive Director for the Falmouth Road Race. We're down here in Falmouth Heights at the finish line, and we're looking forward to our 2021 event. Since it's still unclear as to whether or not we'll be able to host an in-person event in Falmouth this summer, registration for the at-home edition of the ASICS Falmouth Road Race will open May 1st. Registrants will have the opportunity to select, yes, I would like to run in Falmouth if given the chance. If we are able to host an in-person event, runners will be randomly selected from those who chose that option. In a typical year, Falmouth residents and residential taxpayers are given guaranteed entry to the event. Depending on the size of the field we are allowed, we're hoping to give priority, but we're unsure at this time. If we are allowed an in-person event this summer, the event will be a scaled-back version of a typical year, and we will be following all town and state mandates. If you're wondering about the kids event this summer, the SBLI Kids at Home Challenge will be virtual again this year. Registration for that event is free and opens on May 1st. We're thrilled to welcome ASICS as our new title sponsor, and we'll be refreshing the finish line to reflect that partnership. So we hope you'll register for this year's 2021 ASICS Falmouth Road Race beginning May 1st at www.falmouthroadrace.com and follow us on our social sites for updates as things are changing weekly.
Thanks to Andrew Richards for that story. It's now time for our monthly Be Well segment with Nisa Morton, where she shows us 6 simple moves for a healthier spine.
Hello, my name is Nisa Morton, and I'm a wellness educator and instructor. Today I'd like to demonstrate 6 moves for a healthy spine. If you're not sure if you should do these moves, please check with your healthcare provider. It's very important to move your spine in these 6 ways, and I would recommend almost every day, if not every day. In order to have a healthy spine, you need to have rotation, left and right. You need to have side bending, left and right. And you need to have extension and flexion, which means that we're rounding forward and we're gazing upward. And you'll notice my spine moves in all of these different ways. Our 7th way is just standing still with a nice, tall, healthy spine, reaching the crown of the head up towards the ceiling so that your spine is long and straight. Some ways to move your spine, or some ideas, so that you can get these movements in every day. You can stand tall with your feet about hip width apart. And I want you to release your arms by your side and even shake them out a little bit. Start to rock your arms side to side. I call this empty coat sleeves. Imagine your arms are like empty coat sleeves. They're not going to hit or tap the body aggressively. They're just going to swing as you go side to side. Now this movement side to side may make you dizzy if you constantly move the head in the same direction. So you may want to keep your gaze forward and find something to look at. Maybe a piece of furniture or a speck on the floor. If you are turning the head from side to side, just make sure you gaze at something in either direction so that you don't lose your balance. You can go as fast or as slow, and you can make this movement a little bit bigger by getting the legs into the movement by bending the knees and squatting down just a little bit. Notice my knee and toe move in the same direction as my hip. To come out of this, just slowly bring the arms back to center. Roll the shoulders back and down. Bring the feet about hip width apart, and our side to side action, I call monkey arms. And you can bring your arm up to your underarm and then lower back down. This is a nice way to get a gentle side bend without affecting the shoulder. Make sure your abdominals are pulled in. You're doing your little belly pull-in. And you can go side to side, left and right. When you've had enough and you feel even on both sides, you can slowly come back to center and let your arms rest. Roll your shoulders back and down. The last one is flexion and extension, rounding forward and arching back. As you round forward, you can look down at the ground, and as you look up, look to where the ceiling and the wall meet. This helps to round the back and flex the back. All of these can be done in a chair. It's simple enough that you can sit in a chair, round the back, and flex the back a few times. You can twist to one side and then the other, balancing out as you do this. And you can do our monkey arms from side to side, sitting in your chair. Remember, please keep your body moving every day, especially for a healthy spine. May you be happy and may you be well.
Thanks to Nisa Morton and Alan Russell for that helpful demonstration. We're going to take a quick break to learn about an adoptable cat from People for Cats. And when we return, we'll check in with the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution about the return of the Alvin. Stay with us.
Oreo is a cute black and white domestic short-hair female. This 3-year-old has black on her upper half, white on her lower half, and an adorable black smudge on her nose. She's quite shy and is sweet and loves attention once you get to know her a bit, although right now she's showing us a little more of her shy side. Oreo was rescued from down south, and her previous foster reports she's quite the social butterfly once she settles in. She's spayed, microchipped, and up to date on her shots. Now she only needs to find her forever home. If you're looking for a friendly companion, this lady might be the cat for you. Why not make an appointment to meet Oreo? We are presently closed to the public and have been conducting adoptions by appointment only. When you submit an inquiry, we will send you a short questionnaire. You must return a completed questionnaire to be considered as a potential adopter. If we feel you're a good match for the cat, we will conduct a phone interview and set up a safe appointment for a meet and greet with the cat in question. Contact People for Cats at 508-540-5654.
Welcome back. After 56 years of ocean exploration and more than 5,000 dives, the Woods Hole Oceanographic's iconic submersible Alvin has returned to Woods Hole for some timely upgrades. Here's a video submitted by Hui. To learn more about Alvin, go to hui.edu/Alvin, where you can also register for a special event on April 28th. Thanks to Hui for submitting that video. The Falmouth Public Schools' annual Anti-Bullying No Guff Week has reached its milestone 20th year. held in remembrance of the late Falmouth High School teacher Doug Riebesall, who encouraged his students to get involved in creating a positive atmosphere. Let's check in with the Falmouth schools for this celebration.
I think the biggest thing that No Guff has really helped me in my life now is that it reminds me that I just need to be who I am.
It's not talking behind each other's backs, it's supporting your friends. It's just kind of doing the right thing in the right moment.
No Guff, or something to that effect, where you're out deliberately looking for good things.
It brings us together, and it just makes the world a better place.
There was far too much conflicts between students in ways that went unresolved. I remember sitting with some students in my office. At the time, talking trash was a popular expression. One of the students said, well, gee, my grandfather used to say, don't give me any guff. And I said, gee, my father used to say that to me all the time, and it was back talk. In other words, say something, and if I made a sarcastic remark, that was guff.
My father, Doug Riebesall, and had some of his students in the graphic arts department make 100 t-shirts and sort of just hand them out. And there was, it said guff and a little, no circle on the front, and on the back it said don't go behind the back. So, implying don't talk about people behind their back, don't, say anything negative.
The next year we started the student awards where kids voted for their peers, for the kids that didn't talk negatively about anyone else. I gotta say, for 19 years that they did that, they always seemed to pick the right kids. A lot of times these aren't necessarily the kids that are the most well-known or popular, but by and large, they all have that quality of being careful about speaking negatively.
When I got the awards, I just felt so loved. I just felt like no matter what was going on in my world, no matter how many doubts I had about what I was doing, that all my other peers and my classmates saw me for who I was. And it's like, what else can you really ask for, especially as a 14, 15-year-old in the world trying to, find your place.
VIPS has been involved with No Guff the last 10 years. It's a great concept, it works for everybody, and why not bring it out into the community as well? So that's how VIPS really got involved and has stayed involved. And then a few years ago, we decided it would be fun to recognize someone in the community who really exemplifies the No Guff spirit. So we created a No Guff Community Spirit Award. These are not people who are promoting themselves. They're just sort of good, friendly people that are always doing something for others without anyone knowing about it.
That's what No Guff does, is it focuses us on looking for the positive, because the negative is always obvious. The positive is what you've got to look for and accentuate and reinforce.
There was also an opportunity to work with Brian Switzer and Ann Goulart over at Morris Pond School, and they produced these awesome videos. And one of the really nice things is when social media got to be a thing, we were able to share those videos with everybody. So it went even beyond Falmouth.
No guff. No guff. That in any other town in the state might not mean anything, but here in Falmouth, we own No Guff.
No Guff has lasted more than 20 years in Falmouth because at base, it's what we should do every day.
As Thumper's mother said in the movie Bambi, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all.
more than just a school thing, it's a community thing.
People just don't get the opportunity. They need an opportunity once in a while to say, wait a second, it's good to be good.
Thanks to Brian Switzer and the Falmouth Public Schools for that video. FCTV wants to remind you that television can be as easy as hitting record on your smartphone. We'd like to invite all Falmouth residents and visitors to share their slice of life with us. Email us your photos and videos or upload them to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag MyFalmouth or Falmouth in Focus to be featured on the show. Thank you to our most recent contributors. And we leave you now with the sights and sounds from our most recent Poetic License open mic night. Thank you for watching Falmouth in Focus. We'll see you next time.
My name is Donna Shear, and our theme tonight is Earth, Sky, and all that's in between. Trees, a black tangle between me and the hesitating horizon. Sky, nature's layer cake, palest peach frosts the dawn. A few blue cloud waves flood over a strip of beach, oyster shell white.
Earth, you say? Yes. Yes, that will do today. Just earth, some mud, a mass of shaped clay, something mostly solid on which we can now play. Thank you, word. I needed that.
He left the sea many, many lives ago. She lingered, always keeping one foot on the shore.
We awoke as divine brushstrokes of light were being painted upon the water. Floating later on the fluid canvas in our canoe, we imparted a path of light all our own.
The earth is our home and our heart. The trees, the grass, the sun reflected down from the sky. The sky is where the birds fly, where life becomes love, shining down, practically singing a song that takes us, leads us, shows us back where we belong.